Good morning, New Prague Schools and New Prague community, and welcome to the third episode of Supt Talk. My name is Tony Boothby, the Director of Educational Services, and to my right, Superintendent Mr. Tim Dittberner. Good morning, Mr. Dittberner.
Good morning.
We're very excited to be here today, and it is November 4th, 2015. Last month, we had our Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Maren Baller, on Supt Talk, and she did a wonderful job describing her program and all of the different services that she provides. Before we get to our guest today, Mr. Dittberner, just a couple questions, things that are kind of out there in the school district. Number one, maybe a quick update on our facilities plans.
Yeah, right now we've just finishing doing the plans with the user groups. So now the architects are at design stage right now, getting them ready to go out for bid. The middle school will go out in January, and CEC will go out in February. So we're pretty much done with the planning. If you want to see the designs or pictures of what the buildings will look like, they're on our district website. If you go under school board, in the board docs software system we have, and go under agenda, you'll see the construction designs there.
Will there be anything this summer, June, July, and August, that will actually start taking place?
Well, actually, the construction, they'll start digging dirt as soon as the frost is out at the middle school. Okay. So it will begin, and right then on some of the perimeter things with the parking lot and stuff like that. So it'll get going, and there's a reason why we have an early start to our calendar this year and next year, is so to get the construction going in as early as possible. So, you know, well, it all depends on the weather in Minnesota. You know how that is.
Yeah. Something else we see in the newspapers and on the website, and I know you've been working on, is our attendance plan with our 3 elementary schools. Can you update our viewers on that a little bit?
Yeah, just so everyone knows, we're at capacity at Falcon Ridge Elementary, nearly 650 students, and at Eagleview Elementary we have about 510, and that capacity is 700. So we have an imbalance, and we formed a task force to take a look at that. They've made a recommendation. We've done a survey. We had 504 parents respond to a survey. And our next thing will be we're having informational meetings at Eagleview on Monday, November 16th, and at Falcon Ridge Elementary on Thursday, November 19th. So for people to learn more about it, to ask questions, to give their input there, and then we'll just move accordingly from there.
We'll definitely make sure as a school district we publicize those, get them out on our social media and on the website also, so people can see those specific dates for parent meeting.
And the information that's been done, the minutes and everything from those meetings is on our district website also.
Okay. And then last night, so as our viewers start to watch this here, last night was our school board election. And we actually had a few of the board members come back, and then we've got a new board member. Can you speak to that?
Yes. The election results last night, 3 of our incumbents were the top vote getters: Kit and Shane Bauer, Gene Kubish, and Dennis Havlicek. And the 4th one that got elected is Kim Holden. So she'll be the new member on the school board. So congratulations to them, and as we move on into January there.
Well, that's very exciting. Congratulations. And I think Kim Holden replaces Tammy Pexa, who was on the board for quite some time. Yep. So we thank her for her service and her work to the New Prague School District. So we will be right back with our first guest. Welcome back to Supt Talk. And as you can tell with Mr. Dittberner's updates, we have a lot of information and a lot of things going on within the New Prague schools. And as always, you can go on our school district website to see the latest information. We do the very best that we can to keep that updated. And now for our special guest today, to my left, Miss Amy Johnson, who is the Director of Special Services for the New Prague schools. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
We are very excited to have you here today. Amy is the Director of Special Services for the New Prague School District. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and your professional background?
Yeah. Well, I grew up actually in Wisconsin, a small town in Wisconsin, and my husband and I have a 2.5-year-old. And I started actually being inspired to go into special education when I was going to school in Eau Claire. So I worked as a nanny for a family of 5 kids, and a couple of them had pretty significant disabilities. And I also worked for a program where we did one-to-one behavior therapy for kids on the autism spectrum. And so I really was inspired to work with families and work with kids, and I had a unique opportunity in both of those opportunities to really see how much the children could learn and grow and how much we could help families. And so I graduated in Eau Claire and actually started my career teaching in Burnsville School District as a special education teacher. And I started here in New Prague in 2005 and was able to have some opportunities to consult with teams district-wide for students who had autism spectrum disorders, and then also worked as a special education coordinator. And now I've had the opportunity to lead our teams and to be able to see how our students continue to grow and develop and progress as they start maybe in preschool or kindergarten and all the way up until high school. It's been quite a rewarding opportunity. So, yeah.
Great. Well, your official title is Special Services Director.
Correct.
So, falling under, what is Special Services?
Well, special services actually includes a number of specialized instruction and supports. We offer a number of different types of educational supports, not just special education. We offer supports for students who maybe have English as a second language, and so that would be under ELL, English as a second language. And then also we provide supports for students who maybe need some accommodations because they have a disability but maybe do not need special education. That's called a 504, where they might need some help in the general education classroom, but they don't necessarily need to be pulled out for any type of instruction. And then we also provide supports for health services. So if students have maybe a health condition that they need to go down to the nurse's office and have some specific daily support during the day. So it encompasses quite a range of different types of services.
Right, so special education is just part of the whole special services.
Absolutely.
How about under special education, what are some of the services?
Special education actually goes down to birth up until 21 years of age. Students do qualify for those different types of services, whether it's down in the early childhood years, birth through 5 years old, or even after high school when we start talking about post-secondary planning for some students that need additional support, before they go into the workforce, or look at maybe different types of services to help them with living arrangements or even budget planning, some of those types of things. So in the K through 12 type of setting, right now we do offer specialized instruction with more like the reading, math, those types of services where maybe students need a little help. Maybe they're a little behind in math, they need additional support, and then go out, see a special education teacher. But then we also have supports like speech and language therapy, physical therapy. We also provide unique services for kids maybe that are blind, that need help with maybe brailing, or being able to understand how to manipulate their environment and move around the buildings. So quite a range of different special education supports, and just making sure that we have the right supports in place.
Good. Well, when we talk about that, when we talk about the number of students that need support and just your staffing.
Yeah. Well, typically what we do is we try to look at making sure that, first of all, we talk about what's called an IEP, an individualized education plan, and really it's a team of people. We have the general education teachers there, the principals part of that team, and also the special education teacher, and we talk about what is the best for that student. And then typically we try to keep the groups smaller so that they get that individual support. So if a student comes out to get reading help, let's say, then the groups would be maybe around 4 to 5 students that would be in a group, where they can really individualize that instruction. Or there could be other ways where a general education teacher goes into the classroom and provides support, and that's called inclusion. So it's a variety. So based on what a student needs, then we provide staffing to provide appropriate support.
All right, good.
So you had talked a little bit about birth, Amy.
Yep.
A lot of our viewers may not quite understand that birth to 5 services. We have teachers, we have some professionals that work with families. Can you just explain that a little bit? Because that's not normal as far as what we see within the K-12 education day.
So there is a program called Early Intervention, and that's birth through 3 years old. And that's really a program that is more through public health, and with the correlation too with just making sure that through Minnesota Department of Education that we're doing what we need to do. Because in the state of Minnesota, we provide our birth through 3 services through Minnesota Department of Education. But really that's making sure that students, or children I should say, and families where there's maybe a diagnosed condition or maybe there is a developmental delay, that the family gets the appropriate support that they need. And so the teachers actually go into the homes and work with the families. And that could be not necessarily working with the child one-to-one, but if a family is maybe struggling with transportation to get to the grocery store to get their groceries, that they actually are responsible to help the family set that up. So it's a little bit different. And so before a child actually turns 3, we have to reevaluate to really look if they meet eligibility for special education services. They really view birth to 3 as more of an early intervention service, not necessarily special education. It's a little bit different. And then at 3 years old, if they do qualify for special education services, we provide services in our preschools. And teachers and speech and language therapists, occupational therapists go into our preschools and work with the preschool teacher and try to help collaborate on curriculum planning and service to make sure that our preschoolers are getting appropriate support so they're ready for kindergarten.
Good.
Yep.
I guess last question I have for you is, what's your favorite part of the job? Besides working for the superintendent or with the superintendent?
There's more than just one. I would have to be honest and say, it's the staff. Sometimes at the end of the day when you get, you have a meeting with staff or you kind of see them in action and you think, wow, we have really great people here. And also the kids. Just the other day I was at the high school and it was Halloween and all the fun costumes that the kids get into, and just seeing that our teachers are a part of that, and that really I believe that New Prague, I've been in different areas and kind of network, and I think New Prague does a really nice job of making sure our students in special services are always included. And so having, we've done things where our peers that are non-disabled are very involved with our kids that are on IPs. And so that, I think, is one of the best things that I've seen in our district.
I think you can see that every day. I think a couple examples would be just, for example, the recognition the kids give for the kids in adaptive athletics before they go to the state tournament in floor hockey. You've seen that. We've got a unified sports team in bowling.
Yep.
Where regular education students are with the special needs students together?
Yeah, we actually this year doubled in how many 2 non-disabled peers were actually a part of that. It was a great opportunity and a lot more participation, and we want to continue to do that and make those opportunities. And they won a trophy. They did.
They brought back a trophy.
They did. They did.
So
those are the things that I think really build on how wonderful, and even just to see, like I said before, seeing working with a child in kindergarten and seeing them all the way up to high school and just see how they grow and develop and become an adult,
Yep.
So, yeah.
Amy, if any of our viewers out there may have a question in regards to any of the services that you did talk about, where could they go for information, or how could they get a hold of someone?
Sure. You can always contact me and call our special services office at 952-758-1768. If for some reason I'm not available, there is building coordinators that I work very closely with, and if you call that number directly, she would be able to contact one of those building coordinators. Also, you can reference our website. We have a number of different resources on there. We have a number of contact information too, specific to maybe a question you have about a certain area, whether it's special education or English as a second language. So that would be a wonderful resource for you as well.
Well, thank you very much, Amy,
Yep.
for being with us. And I know it sounds like a broken record, Mr. Dibberner. You always say it's hiring good people. Amy has done a wonderful job, and I, of course, have worked with her very closely for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and she's brought a lot of good depth and knowledge to our special services program.
Thank you.
Another shout out to our special services teachers, paraprofessionals, and all the fine folks who do work with our kids. They do an outstanding job. So we will be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 3rd episode of Supt Talk, and we would like to thank Mrs. Amy Johnson, the Special Services Director, for being our guest today, and she did a wonderful job. So we now also have some student guests, Mr. Ditburn, and we're very, very excited to have three of our fine student athletes with us today. On our left here, we have Jenna Lambrecht, who is a junior at the New Prague High School, Maria Berg, and Wyatt Midvit, and we welcome all three of you. So we'll go ahead and start. We'll just say, Jenna, first, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a junior at New Prague High School. My parents are Jim and Jody, and I'm on the girls' varsity tennis team, and I'm thinking of joining track and field this year.
Good, wonderful.
I'm Maria Berg, and my parents are Mark and Julie Berg, and I'm a senior this year. I'm also involved in Nordic skiing, track, and I'm a part of the Trojan Times newspaper at the school.
Hello, my name is Wyatt Midvet. I'm in cross country and track, and I'm a senior at New Prague High School.
Well, thank you very much, and again, welcome to all of you. And you all have a little story to share, and that's why you're here. And we'll turn it over to Mr. Ditburner.
Yeah, we'll first start with Jenna. Why don't you talk about your tennis season? You made it to the true second match, or you finished third in the region. I think that's the section. That's the highest finish we've had in a New Prague tennis person. You guys had a great year. Most wins we've had in I don't know how long. We want to talk about the tennis season a little bit?
Yeah, we had a great coach, Coach Whitty. We have to recognize her for it because she pushed our buttons a lot, and that made us get better. We tied fourth in the conference, and one of the big things that we accomplished was beating Orono 4-3, so that was a good win for us. Myself, I was playing three singles last year, and then Coach Whitty asked me to be number one. So it was a big jump up, and it was definitely different playing, but I feel that I did very successful.
Yeah. And you got to play, the section tournament was at Gustavus?
Yep.
Wonderful college there.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Facilities are the best of the best, right?
Yeah, indoor courts, they're awesome.
Well, great. You had now who did you defeat to get to the second place match? It was a close match.
In the first round of sections, I played Mankato East and Mankato West, and then I had to defeat Hutch, and that was just a good win for me.
Okay, that was
very
a close
happy.
one. That's right, the Hutch one.
Yep, and then I went on to the second round, and I got crushed by Chanhassen and Minnetonka. They were number one and number two in the state, but it was a great experience, and I hope to be back next year.
Yeah.
So
And what do the prospects look next year for your team?
I think it's going to be really good. We have a lot of juniors moving up. We have sophomores and freshmen that are moving up through the rank as well, so I think it'll be a great year.
And we know Coach Whitty will push them hard, right?
Oh, yeah. She's good at pushing buttons.
I love it.
All right, let's go to Maria and Wyatt. Well, first of all, congratulations on qualifying for the state meet. It's this Saturday at St. Olaf.
Yes.
And why don't you talk about your season a little bit? This is your second return, Maria, to the state, and you're excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, so I've been running cross country since 6th grade, and then been on the high school team since 7th grade, and then I qualified for state 10th, 11th, and so this is my
Okay, 3 years.
third year, and it wasn't my best season. The distance is longer this year, and I kind of had a hard time adjusting to the 5K versus the 4K, but I still made it through, I guess, and so whatever I did, over the season, it really doesn't matter because everybody's towing the same line at state, so we all have the same opportunity.
So what's the state, you've been there, this is your third year, not two, I said two. So sophomore, junior, what's it like at St. Olaf, the atmosphere? I know I've been there, but you want to tell the viewer?
It's really fun, and there's just a lot of people watching and cheering, a lot of cowbells, and that's fun, yeah.
Okay, and Wyatt, why don't you talk about your year? And I see you also, I see both of you all summer running around town, so you guys put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and dedication to get to this point. So.
Oh yeah, well we put in the miles and everything. Really, the biggest part I think the most important part of training is what you do in the off season, you know, in the summer and the winter to get ready for the season. I mean, I suppose I put in a lot of miles, you know, or the most miles during the summer, but I don't do a lot of speed work until the season actually starts.
Okay.
I don't really know how to put those together, thanks to the coach for that. But I suppose it wasn't really an eventful season. It was probably one of my most consistent seasons in terms of time. And it was interesting. Really, the only interesting part about it was that one of my least favorite courses was, you know, the one that we were going to be doing multiple times, you know, for conference and sections was Hutchinson.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice and flat and everything. There's not a lot of hills, but the footing is absolutely terrible.
What is it?
And I had one very bad race. Their home meet was my worst race of the season, actually, and so I was a little bit worried about how that would play out for conference and sections, but it ended up.
Why don't you guys talk about, I want to know, Friday night, this Friday, in a couple days here, what are you going to be doing Friday night for dinner? And I want to know your strategy for the race.
Well, on Friday before the meet, we always go up and preview the course at St. Olaf.
Okay.
And the course is actually new for both of us this year, because they changed it, and so they changed it a little bit. So it'll be nice to see. And then we pick up our race packets. We go out to eat Northfield, eat some pasta. It's a good time.
Okay. How about strategy for the race? What do you? What's your attitude going in?
Mine, so I really have nothing to lose here, and sophomore year I placed 60th, and that was a consistent year. Last year I really didn't do well at all, and I'd like to improve on my 60th place.
Okay, good. Wyatt?
Oh, well, you know, try not to get last, I suppose. I mean, I suppose I've taken a little bit of a different approach this year. In years past, I've gone out, you know, a little bit too fast in the first mile. You know, it being a 3-mile race. So I mean, I've gone a little bit more conservative on that first mile to kind of give more energy to those second two, where people really start to slow down. So other than that, I mean, I've never really been through this process before, so I'm kind of going along.
All right. Last question for you. What's your as you're going your senior year here? I'm sure you're enjoying yourself. How about plans for next year? Where were you both at? And then we'll ask Jenna another question.
All right. Well, I suppose I'm thinking about going up to UMD. I'm also going to apply to St. John's and a couple other colleges, Gus Davis being another one of those. But, you know, I haven't made any solid plans. I'm definitely going to end up studying chemical engineering, either at UMD or the U is the only other college that has that major.
Sure.
So it's really just between those two, I suppose. I'm going to end up, you know, in either one of those places.
Okay, Maria?
So I've committed to UMD to run track and cross country there. And so I'm accepted, and I'm going to major in civil engineering. That's the plan for now.
All right. And Jenna, I mean, you're a junior here. I mean, we won't talk too much about plans, but what do you like most about New Prague High School? And maybe some of the people that have made a positive impact on you.
The teachers have definitely made a positive impact. Like when I need help or need to ask a question, they'll answer it and help me until I understand what I'm doing. I'm a math kind of person, I'm thinking of accounting or a math teacher for now, and so I'm taking a couple extra math classes this year, and I plan on taking more next year.
Oh, great.
Jenna, will you play in the off season, like over the winter time? Are there places that you can go and are part of your team and, you know, just work out or play some tennis?
Yep. There is some lessons that you can take at Lifetime Fitness in Lakeville, or there's USTA program through New Prague that I will be doing in the off season. Or there are also Gus Davis camps that I'm thinking of doing with my cousin. So.
Well, good.
Good. Well, you guys are great role models for our younger students. You've had a great season, Jenna in tennis, and you two in cross country. We want to wish you the best going into the state meet Saturday, and give it your all. And you're representing New Prague schools. I know you'll do a great job.
Thank you.
So some fine student athletes from the New Prague schools, as Mr. Dittberner said. We'd like to thank you very much for taking time out of class today to be with us. And that wraps up our third episode of Soup Talk, and we'll see you next month.